the discovery. The vast emptiness of space stretched out before Commander Sarah Chen as she gazed through the reinforced viewport of Outpost Epsilon. The research station, a pinnacle of human engineering, hung in geosynchronous orbit around an unremarkable gas giant in the Tau Ceti system. It was humanity's furthest reach into the cosmos, a testament to their insatiable curiosity and relentless drive to explore the unknown. Sarah's dark eyes, sharp with intelligence, scanned the swirling storms on the gas giant's surface. Her mind, however, was light years away, pondering the latest data from the Quantum Research Lab. For months, they had been detecting anomalous readings, fluctuations in the very fabric of spacetime that defied explanation. It was the reason Outpost Epsilon had been established, the driving force behind humanity's push into this distant star system. "Commander," a voice crackled over the intercom, breaking her reverie. "Dr. Takashi requests your presence in the lab. He says it's urgent." Sarah's heart raced as she made her way through the station's pristine corridors. Dr. Hiroshi Takashi was not one for exaggeration or false alarms. If he said it was urgent, it meant something big. The doors to the quantum lab hissed open, revealing a scene of controlled chaos. Holographic displays flickered with streams of data, and the air hummed with the energy of exotic particles being manipulated on scales smaller than atoms. Dr. Takashi, a small man with wild grey hair and eyes magnified by thick glasses, looked up from his console. His face was a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Commander Chen, thank you for coming quickly. We've made a breakthrough, but, well, you need to see this for yourself." He gestured to the main display, where a swirling vortex of energy pulsed and shifted. "We've managed to stabilize the quantum anomaly to peer into it. And Sarah, there's something on the other side." Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she stared at the display. Through the swirling energy, she could make out shapes, structures that were clearly not natural. Are those artificial constructs?" Dr. Takashi nodded, his voice barely above a whisper. "We believe so. Commander, we're looking at irrefutable evidence of an advanced alien civilization." The weight of the moment settled over the room. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now, in this unremarkable star system, they had their answer. "Can we communicate with them?" Sarah asked, her mind racing with the implications. Before Dr. Takashi could answer, alarms blared throughout the station. Red warning lights bathed the lab in an ominous glow. Unidentified vessels approaching. The panicked voice of the tactical officer echoed through the intercom. Multiple signatures, unlike anything we've ever seen. Sarah sprinted to the nearest viewport, her heart pounding. What she saw made her blood run cold. A fleet of ships, sleek and predatory, emerged from the swirling anomaly. They moved with a grace that defied known physics, their hulls shimmering with an otherworldly energy. Battle stations. Sarah barked into her comm unit. "This is not a drill. All personnel to emergency positions." But even as she gave the order, she knew it was futile. Outpost Epsilon was a research station, not a warship. They had basic defenses, but nothing that could hope to stand against the armada now bearing down on them. The alien ships surrounded the station, their weapons primed but not firing. A tense silence fell over Outpost Epsilon as its occupants waited for the aliens' next move. Suddenly, every screen on the station flickered to life. A face appeared, so alien it was hard for Sarah's mind to process at first. Multiple eyes blinked in unsettling asymmetry, and what might have been a mouth moved as a voice, deep and resonant, filled the air. "Humans of Outpost Epsilon," the alien intoned, its words somehow perfectly translated. "I am Supreme Commander Zox of the Zoraxian Empire. Your meddling in quantum realms has drawn our attention. Your species' ignorance of the greater cosmic order is amusing." Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. "I am Commander Sarah Chen. We mean you no harm. We are peaceful explorers and scientists." A sound that might have been laughter emanated from the alien. Peace, science, such quaint concepts. The universe is not a place for the weak human. It belongs to those with the power to shape reality itself. The alien's tone grew cold. You have 2 planetary rotations to surrender your quantum research and pledge allegiance to the Zoraxian Empire. Resist, and we will crush your pitiful outpost and harvest your world for resources. The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the humans of Outpost Epsilon in stunned silence. Sarah's mind raced. 2 rotations, less than 48 hours, to save not just the outpost, but potentially all of humanity. She turned to her crew, seeing the fear in their eyes, but also the determination. "Get me a secure line to Earth Command," she ordered. "And Dr. Takashi, I need options. Is there anything in our research that could give us an edge?" As the crew sprang into action, Sarah allowed herself one moment of doubt. Humanity was facing its greatest threat, and she was on the front lines. But as quickly as the doubt came, she pushed it aside. They had always been underdogs, always faced impossible odds, and time again, humanity had proven its resilience, its ingenuity, its sheer determination to survive and thrive. The Zoraxians might have advanced technology and the power to shape reality, but they had never faced humans before, and Sarah Chen was determined to show them exactly what humanity was capable of when pushed to the brink. As the clock began to tick down, Sarah felt a fierce resolve settle over her. The Zoraxians thought this would be an easy conquest. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The next 48 hours would determine the fate of humanity, and Commander Sarah Chen was ready to fight with everything she had. The resistance. Commander Sarah Chen stood in the heart of Outpost Epsilon's makeshift war room, her eyes blazing with determination as she addressed the assembled crew. The countdown timer on the wall ticked relentlessly, a stark reminder of the Zoraxian ultimatum. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sarah began, her voice steady despite the weight of their situation, "we're about to embark on the most audacious plan in human history. The Zoraxians think they've got us cornered, but they've made one critical mistake. They've underestimated the sheer tenacity of the human spirit." Dr. Takashi stepped forward, his wild hair even more disheveled than usual. "Commander, we've made a breakthrough. The quantum anomaly isn't just a window to their world, it's a door. And doors," he grinned, a manic glint in his eye, "can be walked through from both sides." A murmur of excitement rippled through the room. Sarah leaned in, intrigued. "Explain, Doctor." Takashi's fingers danced over a holographic display, bringing up schematics of a device that looked part particle accelerator, part cosmic tumbleweed. "We're calling it the Quantum Entanglement Disruptor, or QED. It exploits the same principles the Zoraxians use to bend reality, but with a uniquely human twist." Instead of trying to match their technology, Sarah mused, catching on quickly, "We're going to use it against them." "Precisely," Takashi beamed. "The QED will create a cascading effect through their fleet, temporarily severing their connection to their home dimension. For a brief window, they'll be as vulnerable as we are." Sarah's mind raced with the possibilities. It was a long shot, but it was the best chance they had. How long until it's operational? "That's the catch." Takashi's excitement dimmed slightly. "We need a specific isotope to power it, one that can only be found—" "Let me guess," Sarah sighed, "on the surface of that gas giant we've been orbiting." Takashi nodded grimly. Sarah turned to her chief engineer, Lisa Ortiz, a brilliant woman with a penchant for the impossible. "Lisa, I need a ship that can withstand the pressures of a gas giant's atmosphere, and I need it yesterday." Ortiz's eyes lit up at the challenge. "I've got just the thing, Commander. Remember that experimental probe we were working on? With a few modifications, it could do the job. But," she hesitated, "it's a one-way trip. Whoever goes down there isn't coming back up." A heavy silence fell over the room. Sarah knew what she had to do. "I'll pilot it myself. This is our only shot, and I won't ask anyone else to make that sacrifice." Protests erupted from the crew, but Sarah silenced them with a raised hand. This isn't up for debate. Get that ship ready and prepare the TED. We launch in 6 hours. As the crew dispersed to their tasks, Sarah retreated to her quarters for what might be the last time. She recorded a message for her family back on Earth, trying to put into words the magnitude of what they were attempting. "Mom, Dad," she began, her voice softer than usual. "If you're seeing this, it means our plan worked, but I didn't make it back. I want you to know that what we're doing here isn't just about saving Outpost Epsilon or even Earth. It's about standing up for the right of all species to explore, to learn, to exist free from tyranny." She paused, collecting herself. "The Zoraxians think they can bully us into submission, but they don't understand what it means to be human. We don't back down. We don't give up. And when the odds are stacked against us, that's when we shine the brightest." Sarah's voice grew stronger, filled with a conviction that had made her one of Earth's finest commanders. "Whatever happens next, know that humanity will not go quietly into the night. We will rage against the dying of the light, and we will show the universe what it truly means to be human." With a deep breath, she ended the recording and stepped out to face her destiny. The next few hours were a blur of preparations. The modified probe, christened Icarus for its daring mission, was readied for launch. The TED, a marvel of human ingenuity cobbled together from spare parts and sheer determination, was calibrated and primed. As Sarah suited up for the mission, she caught sight of her reflection in the polished surface of the Icarus. Her dark eyes were filled with a mix of fear and resolve, her jaw set in determination. This was it, humanity's stand against the cosmic bullies who thought they could push them around. The launch bay cleared as Sarah climbed into the Icarus. Over the comms, she heard Dr. Takashi's voice, thick with emotion. "Commander, the TED is ready. As soon as you transmit the isotope signature, we'll activate it. Good luck and thank you." Sarah's voice was steady as she replied, "Just be ready to give these Zoraxian bastards a surprise they'll never forget." Icarus, launching now. The small craft shot out from Outpost Epsilon, streaking towards the roiling surface of the gas giant. Behind her, Sarah knew, the Zoraxian fleet was watching, probably amused at what they perceived as a futile gesture of resistance. As the Icarus plunged into the planet's atmosphere, alarms blared, warning of the immense pressures building up on the hull. Sarah gritted her teeth, fighting to keep the craft stable as she dove deeper, searching for the elusive isotope. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours as the Icarus was buffeted by storms larger than entire planets. Warning lights flashed, indicating multiple system failures. But Sarah pushed on, her eyes locked on the sensor readings. Just when it seemed the Icarus couldn't take any more, the sensors lit up. "Bingo," Sarah breathed, her fingers flying over the controls to collect the precious isotope. With the last of the ship's power, she transmitted the data back to Outpost Epsilon. "Takashi, you've got the package. Light him up." As the Icarus began to break apart around her, Sarah closed her eyes, a smile on her face. She might not live to see it, but she knew in her heart that humanity was about to teach the Zoraxians a lesson they'd never forget. Back on Outpost Epsilon, Dr. Takashi received the transmission. With trembling hands, he activated the TED. The device hummed to life, its energy building to a crescendo. Suddenly, the space around the station lit up like a cosmic fireworks display. The Zoraxian ships, caught completely off guard, began to flicker and distort, their mighty weapons falling silent. On the main view screen, the face of Supreme Commander Zox appeared, his multiple eyes wide with shock and fury. "What? What have you done?" he bellowed. Dr. Takashi, standing tall despite his small stature, addressed the alien tyrant. "We've given you a taste of your own medicine, Zox. Consider this humanity's response to your ultimatum. We will not surrender, we will not bow, and we are most certainly not weak." As the Zoraxian ships drifted powerless, the crew of Outpost Epsilon erupted in cheers. They had done the impossible. They had stood up to the galactic bullies and won. But their celebration was short-lived. As the effects of the TED began to fade, they knew this was just the beginning. The Zoraxians would be back, and next time, they'd be out for blood. Humanity had won the battle, but the war for the galaxy had only just begun, and somewhere in the crushing depths of a gas giant, the sacrifice of Commander Sura Chen had lit a spark that would ignite a resistance that would shake the very foundations of the cosmos. The cosmic web. The euphoria of victory was short-lived aboard Outpost Epsilon. As the effects of the quantum entanglement disruptor, QED, faded, the crew knew they had merely bought themselves time, not peace. The Zoraxian threat loomed larger than ever, a cosmic sword of Damocles hanging over not just humanity, but countless other species across the galaxy. Dr. Hiroshi Takashi stood before a holographic display, his fingers dancing through streams of quantum data. The loss of Commander Sura Chen weighed heavily on all of them, but her sacrifice had given them an unexpected gift, a glimpse into the very fabric of reality itself. "It's like a cosmic spiderweb," Takashi murmured, his eyes wide with wonder. The quantum anomaly, it's not just a door to the Zoraxian realm, it's a nexus point in a vast multidimensional network. Lisa Ortiz, now acting commander of Outpost Epsilon, leaned in, her brow furrowed. "Are you saying there are more of these anomalies?" Takashi nodded excitedly. "Not just more. Thousands, maybe millions, spread across the galaxy, and each one," he paused for dramatic effect, "is a gateway to a different alien civilization." The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just facing the Zoraxians, they were standing on the precipice of a galactic community they never knew existed. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Ortiz rushed to the command console, her heart racing. Multiple quantum signatures detected. Something's coming through. The crew braced themselves, expecting another Zoraxian assault. But what emerged from the swirling vortex of energy left them speechless. A ship unlike anything they had ever seen before materialized in space near the station. It seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, its surface shimmering with iridescent patterns that defied description. Before anyone could react, a beam of pure light shot out from the alien vessel, engulfing Outpost Epsilon. But instead of destruction, it brought translation. A voice, melodic and ethereal, filled the station. "Greetings, children of Earth. We are the Luminae, guardians of the cosmic web. Your actions against the Zoraxian oppressors have not gone unnoticed." Ortiz stepped forward, her voice steady despite her awe. "I am acting commander Lisa Ortiz of Outpost Epsilon. We were honored to meet you." The voice of the Luminae continued, a hint of urgency in its tone. The balance of the galaxy teeters on a knife's edge. The Zoraxians have long sought to dominate the cosmic web, to bend all of reality to their will. Your species, in its beautiful ignorance, has unwittingly become the linchpin in this cosmic conflict. Takashi couldn't contain his excitement. The QED. When we activated it, we must have sent ripples through the entire network. Indeed, the Luminae confirmed. You have awakened ancient forces, stirred sleeping giants. Many eyes now turn to Earth, some with hope, others with fear and greed. Ortiz felt the weight of this revelation settle on her shoulders. What can we do? We're just one small outpost, barely clinging to the edge of known space. A shimmer of light coalesced in the center of the command deck, taking the form of a being that seemed to be made of living starlight. Its features were ever-shifting, at once alien and somehow familiar. "You have already done more than you know," the Luminae emissary said, its voice now coming from the luminous figure. "Your 2ED technology, born from desperation and ingenuity, holds the key to unlocking the full potential of the cosmic web." The emissary waved its hand, and suddenly the command deck was transformed into a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Glowing threads of energy crisscrossed space, connecting countless worlds. "This is the true face of our galaxy," the Luminae explained. A vast network of quantum pathways connecting civilizations across unimaginable distances. The Zoraxians seek to control these pathways, to become the sole arbiters of interstellar travel and communication. Takashi's mind raced with the possibilities, and after it disrupts their control. The Luminae nodded, its form shimmering with approval. More than that, properly harnessed, it could democratize the cosmic web, allow free travel and communication for all species. Ortiz' eyes narrowed with determination. So we stumbled into a galactic revolution, but how can we hope to stand against the Zoraxian war machine? The Luminae emissary's form pulsed with energy. You will not stand alone. Even now, representatives from 100 worlds are gathering, drawn by the ripples of your defiance. They come seeking alliance, seeking hope. As if on cue, the space around Outpost Epsilon lit up with new quantum signatures. Ships of all shapes and sizes began to emerge from swirling vortexes, a gathering of species and civilizations beyond humanity's wildest dreams. Ortiz watched in awe as the vicinity of their once lonely outpost became a bustling hub of interstellar activity. I never thought I'd see first contact in my lifetime, she breathed. Now we're hosting a galactic summit. The Luminae emissary's voice took on a grave tone. The Zoraxians will return, and soon. They will not take this challenge to their power lightly. You must be ready. Takashi stepped forward, his eyes blazing with determination. We'll need to mass-produce the HFY technology, adapt it for large-scale use. Ortiz nodded, her military mind already formulating strategies. And we'll need to coordinate with these new allies, form a united front against the Zoraxian threat. The Luminae emissary raised its hands, and a pulse of energy swept through the station. Suddenly, every piece of technology hummed with new life, upgraded beyond human understanding. We offer you this gift, the Luminae said, the accumulated knowledge of 1,000 worlds. Use it wisely, for the fate of the galaxy now rests in your hands. As the emissary faded from view, Ortiz and Takashi shared a look of determination. The next few days would determine the course of galactic history, and humanity was at the center of it all. Ortiz squared her shoulders, channeling the spirit of Commander Chen. All right, people, let's make Sarah proud. We've got a cosmic web to liberate and a galaxy to save. As the crew of Outpost Epsilon sprang into action, coordinating with their new alien allies and preparing for the battle to come, a sense of purpose filled the station. They had started this journey as lonely explorers on the edge of space. Now, they stood as the vanguard of a galactic revolution, the tip of the spear in humanity's grandest adventure. The Zoraxians thought they had cowed humanity into submission. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. And as representatives from across the galaxy gathered around this small human outpost, one thing became clear: the age of Earth's isolation was over. Humanity was about to take its place on the galactic stage, armed with determination, ingenuity, and the most powerful weapon of all, the ability to unite diverse species under a common cause. The cosmic web trembled with anticipation. The greatest war in galactic history was about to begin, and at its heart stood a species the Zoraxians had gravely underestimated. Humanity was ready to show the universe what they were truly capable of. As Outpost Epsilon transformed into the nerve center of an interstellar alliance, one question burned in every mind, human and alien alike. Would it be enough to stand against the full might of the Zoraxian Empire? The answer lay hidden in the quantum threads of fate, waiting to be unraveled. The Singularity Gambit. Outpost Epsilon, once a lonely human research station, now buzzed with an energy that defied description. Holographic displays flickered with alien script, and the corridors echoed with a cacophony of languages from across the galaxy. At the heart of this interstellar maelstrom stood acting Commander Lisa Ortiz and Dr. Hiroshi Takashi, the unlikely leaders of humanity's leap onto the cosmic stage. The Zoraxian fleet has been detected, a voice called out, its tone a mixture of fear and determination. They'll be here within 48 hours. Ortiz's jaw clenched. Despite their new allies and the advanced technology gifted by the Luminae, they were still woefully outgunned. The Zoraxian war machine had conquered countless worlds, and now it was bearing down on them with the full force of its wrath. Takashi, his wild hair seeming to crackle with nervous energy, burst into the command center. "I've got it," he exclaimed, his eyes wide with a manic gleam. "The ultimate application of the QED technology." All eyes turned to the eccentric scientist as he pulled up a holographic display. "We've been thinking too small," Takashi began, his hands weaving through the air as he explained. "The QED doesn't just disrupt quantum entanglement, it can manipulate the very fabric of space-time itself." Ortiz leaned in, her brow furrowed. "What are you proposing, Doctor?" Takashi's grin was equal parts brilliant and terrifying. "We create a quantum singularity, a controlled black hole, right in the path of the Zoraxian fleet." A gasp rippled through the assembled aliens and humans alike. The idea was audacious, borderline insane. "But the energy requirements," one of the alien scientists began. Takashi nodded vigorously. "Enormous, yes, but not impossible. If we channel the energy of the entire cosmic web through Outpost Epsilon, we can do it." Ortiz's mind raced with the implications. "And what happens to us, to Earth?" The doctor's excitement dimmed slightly. "That's the catch. There's a 50% chance the singularity could expand uncontrollably, swallowing not just the Zoraxians, but us, Earth, and half the galaxy." A heavy silence fell over the room. The stakes couldn't be higher. Risk half the galaxy to save all of it. Suddenly, a new voice cut through the tension. "Perhaps we can offer an alternative." All heads turned to see a shimmering figure materialize in the center of the room. It was not the Lumini emissary they had come to know, but something different. Its form seemed to shift between solid and gaseous, with patterns of light dancing across its surface that hurt the eyes to look at directly. "I am Zix 427, the being introduced itself, its voice resonating on frequencies that made the air itself vibrate. A representative of the quantum collective." Ortiz stepped forward, her voice steady despite her awe. "Welcome, Zix 427. We're honored by your presence, but what is the quantum collective?" The being's form rippled, as if chuckling. "We are what you might become given a few million years of evolution. Beings of pure quantum energy existing simultaneously across multiple dimensions." Takashi's jaw dropped. You've mastered quantum mechanics on a macroscopic scale." "Mastered?" Zix 427 seemed amused. "We are quantum mechanics, Doctor, and we've been watching your struggle against the Zoraxians with great interest." The being waved what might have been a hand, and suddenly the command center was filled with a three-dimensional map of the galaxy, far more detailed than anything they had seen before. "The Zoraxians are more than just conquerors," Zix 427 explained. "They are an infection in the quantum fabric of the universe. Their technology doesn't just control the cosmic web, it corrupts it, twisting reality to serve their agenda." Ortiz's eyes narrowed. "So stopping them is about more than just saving our worlds. It's about saving reality itself." Zix 427 nodded, its form shimmering with approval. "Precisely. And that's why we're here to offer our assistance." The being extended what seemed to be a tendril of pure energy towards Takashi. "Your QED technology, combined with our quantum mastery, could create something unprecedented, a quantum nexus bomb." Takashi's eyes lit up with understanding. "A weapon that doesn't just destroy ships or planets, but rewrites the quantum signature of an entire sector of space," Zix 427 finished. "It would sever the Zoraxians' connection to the corrupted sections of the cosmic web, rendering their reality-warping technology useless." Hope surged through the assembled leaders, but Ortiz remained cautious. "What's the catch?" "There's always a catch." Zix 427's form rippled again, this time with what might have been sorrow. "The catch, Commander, is that someone must deliver the bomb to the heart of the Zoraxian fleet, a living, conscious being capable of making quantum-level adjustments in real time." The implications hung heavy in the air. It would be a suicide mission, And not just death. Whoever delivered the bomb would have their very existence rewritten, erased from the quantum fabric of the universe. Ortiz squared her shoulders, ready to volunteer, but before she could speak, a familiar voice rang out. "I'll do it." All eyes turned to see a figure step out of the shadows. Gasps of shock and disbelief filled the room. It was Commander Sarah Chen. Chen stood before them, her form flickering slightly, as if not quite solid. "The gas giant," she explained, her voice echoing strangely. "When the Icarus was crushed, I was transformed. The extreme pressures, combined with the exotic particles we were searching for, I became something new." Takashi stumbled forward, his hand passing through Chen's arm as he tried to touch her. "You're a quantum ghost." Sarah nodded, a sad smile on her face. "I exist between states now. Not quite alive, not quite dead. I've been watching, waiting for the moment I could help." Ortiz felt tears stinging her eyes. "Sarah, you've already sacrificed so much. And I'll sacrifice everything if it means saving Earth, saving the galaxy," Chen replied, her voice filled with determination. "I'm the perfect candidate for this mission. I can navigate the quantum realms in ways no ordinary being can." Zix 427 moved closer to Sarah, studying her with what seemed to be profound respect. "The commander speaks truly. Her unique state of existence makes her ideal for this task." As the reality of the situation settled over the room, a flurry of activity erupted. Plans were made, technologies merged, and strategies formulated. The fate of the galaxy would rest on the shoulders of a woman who had already given her life once for the cause. In the midst of the preparations, Ortiz found a moment alone with Sarah. "I don't know whether to thank you or try to talk you out of this," she said, her voice thick with emotion. Sarah's form flickered, but her eyes remained steady. "You know there's no other way, Lisa, but I need you to promise me something." Ortiz nodded, willing to agree to anything. "When this is over, when Earth takes its place in the galactic community, don't let them forget what it means to be human. Our curiosity, our determination, our capacity for hope in the face of overwhelming odds, that's what got us here. That's what will carry us to the stars." As alarms blared, signaling the approach of the Zoraxian fleet, Ortiz clasped her hands behind her back, standing tall. "I promise, Sarah. We'll make you proud." The stage was set for the final confrontation. A quantum ghost, armed with the most powerful weapon ever conceived, prepared to face down the might of an empire that spanned realities. The Zoraxians thought they were coming to crush a rebellion. Instead, they were about to face the full force of humanity's indomitable spirit, backed by the most advanced beings in the universe. As Sarah Chen prepared to embark on her final mission, the words she had recorded what felt like a lifetime ago echoed in her mind. "We will rage against the dying of the light." The light of freedom was about to burst forth across the galaxy, and at its heart burned the unquenchable fire of human courage. The universe held its breath, waiting to see if one small species from an unremarkable planet could change the course of cosmic history. The quantum nexus was about to be unleashed. Echoes of eternity. The vast expanse of space shimmered with anticipation as two forces, diametrically opposed in every conceivable way, prepared for a confrontation that would echo across the cosmos for eons to come. On one side, the Zoraxian Armada, a terrifying array of reality-walking ships that blotted out the stars. On the other, a lone figure, barely visible against the backdrop of space, Commander Sarah Chen, quantum ghost and humanity's last hope. Back on Outpost Epsilon, now the nexus of a galactic resistance, acting Commander Lisa Ortiz and Dr. Hiroshi Takashi watched with bated breath. Surrounding them, representatives from 100 alien races stood in silent vigil, each knowing that the fate of their civilizations hung in the balance. Quantum Nexus bomb primed and ready, Takashi's voice quavered, his hands trembling as they hovered over the controls. "Sarah, it's time." Through the quantum comm link, Sarah's voice echoed, tinged with static that seemed to originate from between realities. Copy that, Epsilon. Beginning approach. As Sarah's ethereal form propelled itself towards the heart of the Zoraxian fleet, the fabric of space itself seemed to ripple. The Quantum Collective's emissary, Zix 427, materialized beside Ortiz, its multidimensional form pulsing with nervous energy. We've detected a disturbance, Zix 427 intoned, its voice resonating on frequencies that made the air vibrate. The Zoraxians, they're attempting something unprecedented. Before anyone could respond, the space before the Zoraxian armada began to warp and twist. A massive tear in reality yawned open, revealing a swirling vortex of chaotic energy. By the cosmic web, Takashi gasped, his eyes wide with horror and fascination. They're trying to create a universe-scale quantum singularity. If they succeed, they'll rewrite the fundamental laws of physics. Zix 427 finished, its form flickering with alarm. They'll reshape reality itself to their will. Ortiz's jaw clenched, her mind racing. Sarah, abort mission. We need a new plan. But Sarah's response came back clear and determined. Negative, Epsilon. This changes nothing. The mission proceeds. As the quantum ghost that was once Commander Chen accelerated towards the growing singularity, the Zoraxian fleet finally noticed her approach. Energy beams lanced out, twisting in impossible ways as they attempted to intercept the intruder. Sarah's form flickered and phased, dancing between realities as she dodged the assault. Her voice, strained but unwavering, came through the comm. I can feel it. The singularity, it's calling to me. I think I know what I have to do. Takashi leaned forward, his brow furrowed in confusion. Sarah, what are you talking about? The plan was to detonate the bomb at the heart of their fleet. Plans change, old friend, Sarah replied, a hint of a smile in her voice. Sometimes, to save reality, you have to think outside it. Before anyone could protest, Sarah's quantum form accelerated to impossible speeds. She streaked past the Zoraxian ships, their weapons unable to lock onto her fluctuating quantum signature. With a final burst of speed, she plunged directly into the heart of the growing singularity. For a moment, all was silent. Then, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. The singularity pulsed, once, twice, and then began to collapse in on itself. But instead of the catastrophic implosion everyone expected, something miraculous happened. The quantum nexus bomb, powered by Sarah's consciousness and merged with the raw potential of the singularity, began to expand, not as a destructive force, but as a wave of pure creation. Zix 427's form vibrated with excitement. Impossible, she's done it. She's turned the singularity inside out. As the wave expanded, it engulfed the Zoraxian fleet. But instead of destruction, something far more profound occurred. The ships, and the beings within them, began to change. The wave washed over Outpost Epsilon, and for a brief moment, every being there experienced a glimpse of everything. The past, the future, the infinite possibilities of the multiverse, all laid bare in a single eternal instant. When reality reasserted itself, the Zoraxian fleet was transformed. Gone were the weapons of war and the devices of oppression. In their place were ships of exploration, of learning, of cooperation. Supreme Commander Zox's face appeared on the main view screen, but he was changed. The cruelty was gone from his eyes, replaced by wonder and remorse. What have we done? He whispered, looking at his own hands as if seeing them for the first time. The lives we destroyed, the beauty we nearly erased. Ortiz stepped forward, her voice firm but compassionate. You've been given a second chance, Commander Zox. A chance to rebuild, to make amends. As the implications of what had occurred began to sink in, shears erupted across Outpost Epsilon and on thousands of worlds across the galaxy. The Zoraxian threat was over, not through destruction, but through transformation. But amidst the celebration, a somber realization set in. Sarah Chen was gone, her very existence used as the catalyst for this cosmic rebirth. Takashi, tears streaming down his face, stared at the spot where the singularity had been. She rewrote their quantum signatures, he murmured, gave them back their empathy, their capacity for good. But the cost. Zix 427 moved closer, its form pulsing with a gentleness that belied its alien nature. Commander Chen's sacrifice will echo through eternity, it said softly. Her consciousness has become one with the fabric of the universe itself. In a very real sense, she is now everywhere and everywhen. As if in response to Zix 427's words, a soft glow began to emanate from every piece of technology in the station. Holographic displays sprang to life, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Zoraxians helping to rebuild worlds they had once conquered, former enemies working together to unlock the secrets of the cosmos, and at the heart of it all, a familiar presence, not seen but felt. Ortiz placed her hand on a console, feeling a warmth that seemed to pulse with life. "Sarah," she whispered. No voice answered, but for a moment, the entire station hummed with an energy that felt unmistakably like Sarah Chen's indomitable spirit. As the glow faded, Ortiz straightened her uniform and turned to address the assembled beings, human and alien alike. "Today marks a new era," she began, her voice carrying the weight of history. "An era of cooperation, of exploration, of pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We've seen the power of one individual to change the course of the universe. Imagine what we can accomplish together." The room erupted in cheers and alien vocalizations of agreement. As plans were made and alliances forged, a new galactic civilization began to take shape, one founded on the principles of mutual understanding, scientific advancement, and the unquenchable spirit of exploration that had driven humanity to the stars. And somewhere, in the quantum fabric that underlies all of reality, the essence of Sarah Chen smiled. Her sacrifice had not just saved the galaxy, it had given birth to a new cosmic order, one of infinite possibilities and endless wonder. As Outpost Epsilon transformed into the heart of this new galactic community, a plaque was placed at its center. It bore a simple inscription, a testament to the power of human determination and the enduring legacy of one woman's courage. To Commander Sarah Chen, she showed us that the true final frontier is not space, but the limitless potential of the human spirit. Ad astra per aspera, the universe, vast and mysterious, pulsed with new life and new purpose. And in every quark, every photon, every vibrating string of quantum energy, echoed the promise of a future brighter than any star. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger world. The true adventure was just beginning.